Chris Jericho, Chris Jericho, Chris Jericho. I guess the question I could really ask is why 2J? Now I am trying to hit 3,800 subs before the end of the week. I think I need about 300 like 33 more people to hit that subscribe button. I definitely appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. Need 3,800 going into the new year, and if you want some good luck, think of the subscribe button as good luck, because it is good luck. Everybody who subscribed to me has good luck. So hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, dog. So Chris Jericho, man, it's getting pretty ugly with his legacy and the way he's just kind of tearing it down and tarnishing it. It has not been a good look for Chris Jericho being in AEW. I just came across like a couple years ago, I guess he was on TNT, like NBA Tonight with Charles Barkley, Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie. That's what I'm forgetting. And he was on them, and it shows what you see when you intertwine AEW with other fan bases, such as the NBA fan base. And that man got roasted. And he hasn't been in the best of shape since joining AEW. I don't know what happened to this man's body, but he's, like Ricky Stark said, this man has looked like an air fryer. And he's not on the right side of history when it comes to Brawl Out, when it comes to just the drama with CM Punk. And unfortunately, the perspective of things is showing that all along that a lot of people knew CM Punk was right, or they just didn't care about this situation at all. And with Chris Jericho, he chose the wrong side, much like Tony Khan and much like other people who eventually understood that they chose the wrong side. Chris Jericho chose the wrong side. He chose the Young Bucks side. He chose the elites. He chose the higher ups in the company he worked for side, which is understandable. But at the same time, he's going to be on the wrong side of history. And people are roasting this man. And today, or last night, I believe, he came out and intertwined himself into the drama he didn't need to be at all. He could have been somebody who was involved, but nobody would ever knew, and it was what it was, but he had to let us know he was involved. So some Chris Jericho fan page was reporting on the fact that Ace Steel and CM Punk have signed lifelong NDAs that they can never talk about what happened at Brawl Out. And then for some reason, Chris Jericho felt the need to let people know that he didn't. So Stephen P. New responded to that comment, and this is it started a back and forth with Chris Jericho and Stephen P. New, which was pretty funny, pretty entertaining, and I think it just really shows that CM Punk was never the problem. CM Punk was never the childish one. He was never the unprofessional one, even though you could argue that he did some unprofessional things that he's not somebody who just drama follows them everywhere. There's been so much drama from AEW before he entered AEW, and when he was in AEW, and after he left AEW. And what's the common denominator there? Tony Khan's the common denominator. Chris Jericho's the common denominator. The Young Bucks are the common denominator. And all around AEW is the common denominator. And you could blame either one of those people that you want to, but it's to be recognized that CM Punk is not the problem. CM Punk is not the problem. So when Chris Jericho said he didn't sign a NDA, Stephen P. New, CM Punk and Jim Cornette's a lawyer, which is still funny to me that they have the same lawyer. He said it's in your employee handbook unless you have a special. We can figure it out. A little jab at Chris Jericho. And then here comes Chris Jericho with this essay. He said, "Hey, at Stephen P. New, I don't adhere to an employee handbook, and never have, and have never had one, and never had one in 4 years. I'm sorry, working for AEW. I've also never signed an NDA in my life. ... ever. So stop trying to be a bully and making egotistical fantasy brags for your clients, and start doing some research before you make blanket statements about your buddies, because I saw everything that night, including how Lucy and her husband and best buddy acted and what really went down." So he's saying her name, which is come on, bro. I don't know if her name is public. I don't know, but think about it like this. I'm somebody who's made videos about this stuff. I'm somebody who's been very intertwined in what's going on with AEW and Brawl Out and stuff. But for some reason, I've never known Ace Steel's wife name, but he brought her name up. She hasn't said a word, even though she very much could, and he brought her name up, which is just like, come on, bro. Like, that's so unnecessary. She hasn't said anything. She stayed out the way. Who knows what's going on? I don't know why he felt the need to say her name, but it doesn't look good. Like, bro, like, that's kind of a jerk move to just say her name like that, put her name out there like that. It's just, I don't know. It wasn't, like, again, I'm somebody who's followed this thoroughly, and I didn't know her name. So to put her name out there was just messed up. Acted and what really went down. And since I was in the room and watching her and everybody else the whole time, I know exactly what really happened. And considering you weren't there and I was, maybe you should shut your mark ass up, because what really went down was disgusting. Yeah, yeah. That's Chris Jericho, man. That's Y2J, man. That's one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. And I think he said something a couple days ago, like when he passed away, people like the hate doesn't bother him because when he passes away, people are going to say he's one of the greatest of all time. Bro, we already consider you one of the greatest of all time. We already do. You know what I'm saying? It's just you were never the GOAT. And even then, you know that. You know you're not the GOAT. Some people may argue you're the GOAT. I wouldn't personally. But this chair is loud. So this is just like, bro, like I don't know what Chris Jericho is thinking. He's one of those people in AEW, such as the Young Bucks, like Tony Khan and even Cody Rhodes at a certain point when he was there, who just can't be told anything and are tone deaf. It is so tone deaf. There was a lot of responses came out of this, and it was a very entertaining morning reading all those tweets. But it's just how far they fallen, man. And Chris Jericho, like Brian Last, who tweeted out the handbook and basically told everybody that there is an employee handbook or a talent handbook for AEW. Basically, tweeted it out and said that everybody knows, or people who know what's going on know that if anybody has been full of BS this whole time talking about Brawl Out, it's been Chris Jericho. And again, CM Punk has stayed out of the way. CM Punk hasn't, I think today he tweeted something just Instagram something. He hasn't been on Twitter since Brawl Out. He Instagram he's thankful for his fans. He's staying out of the way. Either he's a shrewd operator, or he's either a shrewd operator and he's playing these guys like puppets, or this man is literally just minding his own business, making the most money he's ever made, becoming a bigger star than he's ever been. And, Chris Jericho is just falling. Chris Jericho is falling, and CM Punk is rising. And I don't know what his beef is with CM Punk. I don't know what his beef is with Jim Cornette or whatever. I don't know what his beef is with wrestling at this point, because his wrestling is disgusting as well. But, I don't know. But it's sad to see. But you guys let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Chris Jericho is just, it's very disappointing me. But, yeah. Hit that subscribe button, man. I am trying to hit 3,800. So actually, let's hit 4K, man. Let's hit 4K. I appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. Have a beautiful night. Sub to Act. Peace.